This is the Four-Man Rush. So man, I got nothing to say about the Atlanta game. I'm just glad we got that W. I'm tired of that constant butt whooping we got every time we went to Atlanta over the past 5-6 seasons. That was getting old. So you know, we're gonna be a problem, folks. We stay healthy, we're gonna be a problem. I don't see how we cannot be. We're missing our best player on offense. Basically have a brand new defense, and we're on a 3-game winning streak. And quite frankly, the Chargers gave the Saints a run for their money, and it's going to be interesting. But before we play the Saints, we got to play them Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears defense might be one of the best that we've gone up against so far this year. At this juncture, obviously. So we're going to talk about that in detail. I think we haven't gone in depth, this season like we can in terms of our opponents, upcoming opponents. So we're going to concentrate a little bit more on that for now on, if you guys don't mind. All right. Will, you want to tackle the Chicago Bears offense or defense?
Let's start with their defense because that's the strength of the team. Then we get to the offense.
Bet. What you see about their defense, bro?
I agree with you. I think this will be probably the best defense we've seen so far. I think they have a lot of talent on that side of the football. We all know who it starts and ends with him is Khalil Mack, probably one of the 10 best players in the NFL, regardless of position. If you watch the Thursday night game against the Bucs, when he was terrorizing poor Tom Brady all night, giving that rookie tackle Tristan Wirfs hell. So very big challenge for Taylor Moton and Russell Okung this week to contain Khalil Mack. And really to contain him, I don't think it's going to be a one-on-one type deal. It's going to take a team effort to stop him. We're going to have to get good chip help from our backs and tight ends. We're going to have to have a scheme in place to kind of use misdirection, maybe run at him, just try to find different ways to keep him off balance, keep him guessing, and not let him get into that rhythm because he can single-handedly terrorize opponents and take over games. We're starting to see that from our own guy, Brian Burns, as well. But, Khalil Mack's been that type of player for years. I have a lot of respect for what he's able to do, and I think that's where the defense, starts with the Chicago Bears. But he's not the only one they have. The guy on the other side of him, Leonard Floyd, is a first-round pick in his own right, not a bad player at all. They got probably Eddie Jackson, one of the better safeties in the league, who's a ball hawk on the back end. The linebacker core, I think, is very good. They got Roquan Smith, who in our pre-draft process a couple years ago we were all very high on, who's starting to come into his own as a pretty solid linebacker. A veteran, Danny Trevathan, another linebacker, been on a couple teams now, but still a very solid player. Defensive tackle Akeem Hicks. We're talking about another beast up front there that we're going to have to handle in addition to Khalil Mack. And then I think they got solid corners as well. Kyle Fuller, he's a playmaker back in that secondary. So I just think this is one of those games we may not see the efficient, smooth offensive flow that we've seen the past couple of weeks against the Cardinals and the Falcons. This might be one of those Charger games where we just got to grind it out, get points, take care of the football, not turn it over, and try to win the turnover battle this week and protect the ball because this Bears defense is tough. But with that said, I do think there's plenty of opportunities to attack them as well. So, we'll see how that goes. So I think it'll be a good challenge for our offense, but I'm still pretty confident that we'll be able to find ways to attack them.
Word up. And we're going to have to attack these guys. We're gonna have to keep them on their heels and make them one-dimensional. The last thing we need to do is be in a a slugfest with a running game. You know what I'm saying? It's just been a weak point up until this point. Kev, What's their offense looking like, man?
Well, as far as the Chicago Bears offense, I think the most noticeable change is the change at quarterback. Um, when they were able to come back in Atlanta, it was because of the quarterback switch, where they went to veteran Nick Foles and benched Mitchell Trubisky.
Hmm.
So that was able to jumpstart them in Atlanta when they was down 26-10. Foles came in the second half, threw three passing touchdowns to lead them to a comeback in Atlanta.
Wow.
And ever since then, it's like offensively they got talent to definitely give us fits, but I don't see nothing necessarily quote scary about them. Now I do think that they have some weapons that we legit definitely have to be concerned about here as well. Starting with their wide receivers. Trying to look up their names here real quick, but um, they definitely got some. They got some legit weapons, and if we don't get to Foles early and often, now that could be a problem because they definitely have some talent. Their offensive line is decent, but it's nothing to feel like that. Work can't be done against them. Just looking up some of the stats here. Opponents have been able to get about 11 sacks on them. Seems like their run defense is, middle ways, giving up about 4.5 yards a carry, while their own rushing offense is only about 4 yards to carry. The main thing that I see sticks out about the Bears offensively is that they try to do a good job of controlling the clock
Hmm.
as well. So that's something to be aware of. Those dink and dunk drives that chew up a lot of time to let that
Mm-hmm.
talented defense get rest. They try to grind it out on their offensive drives to allow that defense to be uh, freshly charged. But overall, I see this as a game that where if, as before, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, I think that we can definitely take advantage and be able to secure the win versus the Bears at home. Uh, but this is definitely a game that's going to really challenge us. For me, this is a game that's going to allow me to know what kind of expectations moving forward with this team is, because I think differently at 4-2 than I do at 3-3.
Hmm.
So I just think that with this team offensively, it's a diversified attack. They do like to try to be balanced somewhat, but overall, I just think that if we can get to Foles with this offensive line that unit they got out in front, there's a chance for us to really affect him and to neutralize their passing attack.
Hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. And I if there was one thing in this game I would be worried about again, it's our linebacker play going up against Foles in the passing game because Tahir is fast, he's athletic, he's physical, but again he has not quite grasped the coverage aspect of the mic position, and I'm afraid he might get exposed in this game. Is their tight end play decent? Will, do you know or?
Yeah, they have Jimmy Graham, I believe. He's a
Shit.
veteran. He's pretty been around the league, so he knows how to get around. And I think they haven't really gotten their running game going like they like to. But David Montgomery is a strong runner. He's going to break tackles, so we're going to have to swarm tackle him. But I think the strength of their offense, like Kev said, is the wide receiver position. You got Allen Robinson, who we got to
Mm.
account for. He's a contested catch guy. He's never really had consistent quarterback play, so I don't think he's reached his full potential yet.
Mm.
Look at his career. He had Blake Bortles in Jacksonville. He comes to Chicago, now you got to deal with Mitchell Trubisky. And now he's got another quarterback now with Foles, but
Mm-hmm.
he's always a guy you're going to have to deal with. They got a rookie, Moody, who's having a very good start to the season, more of a speed guy. You get separation. Thought Ted Ginn was a great all-season acquisition for them.
Oh,
He's
Teddy.
given us fits since he left us in 2015.
Yes.
So hopefully we got Dante can stay healthy for this game to help take him out of the picture. And then they got Anthony Miller, nice little route runner guy that can get separation. So, I mean, they do have weapons. When on paper you look at them, you're like, how are they 4-1? They don't look that impressive. I mean, why is this team so? But you are what your record says you are.
Yep.
I mean, they found ways to win playing their way. And I think it'll be a good challenge. Now, just because, I'm talking about the Bears, it doesn't mean I don't believe we can attack them, and we'll get to that eventually. But I think it'll be a good challenge for us, but nothing I don't think this young Panther squad won't be able to overcome.
Yeah. I hope you're right, man. The only weak spot I can see right now in our defense, stopping that Chicago Bear offense, is our linebacker core. But like you mentioned, man, I mean, if it is a concerted effort, if the D line can maintain their gap integrity and everybody's where they're supposed to be, we'll shut the run down. We have that potential. But Kev, speak on the and I know we'll touch on their defense, but what can you add to the defensive side of the Chicago Bear defense? Are they going to give us fits outside of Mack and big man in the middle?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a team that if we don't come with our A game, that defense line is talented enough by itself to cause us a lot of headaches. It's more, shutting down Khalil Mack. I can say shut down. Neutralizing Khalil Mack is definitely top priority, but, they got the inside-outside combination with him and I think it's Hicks in the middle. So this will be a good challenge for our interior offensive line for Paradis, Chris Reed, and John Miller. But the opportunity is there. I think that, if we can get to the second level, we can definitely get movement on their linebackers from an offensive line point of view. So what I do expect to see more of is where we're double teaming the tackles and we're sliding off to the next level to get that push. I think something that'll be effective for us this game will be misdirection plays. This Bears defense is highly aggressive by nature, by design. So if you can use that aggression against them, they leave openings for you to take advantage of if you can execute your blocking scheme. Now, if you can't execute your blocking scheme, then you're gonna be in for a long day. But there's definitely openings to take advantage of this defense. They kind of remind me of the Texans defense last year. They had J.J. Watt on the outside, and they had DJ Reader on the inside. And, it kind of just reminds me of that, looking into this matchup. Like I say, the linebacker play is solid, but I do think that we can take advantage of them if we can get our tight ends involved in the game, which is something that we'll get into a little bit later as well, because that's one part of our offense, in spite of our production, that has not, quote, produced per se. But hey, we'll let Joe Brady and Bridgewater, do what they do. I'm not going to knock, what's working, but just acknowledging the fact that, just like Atlanta gave up the most touchdowns to tight ends. If I'm not mistaken, Chicago Bears are like top 5 as far as yardage given up to tight ends. So definitely, if this is something to try to exploit, I think this would be a perfect opportunity for us to get after them. And just like the Chargers game, they got very solid cornerback play. But again, I just feel like that we can just use their aggression against him. So it'll be very good to see what kind of game plan that we're able to put together, because it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a physical. It's going to be a brutal game, but it is a game that is winnable. That I feel like for this young Panthers team.
Now here's one. Yeah, go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
That was a good point you made about the tight ends, because I think they can be key in red zone success.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the one area where we need to practice on this week. I mean, the Bears have the #1 red zone defense in the NFL.
Oh, man.
They only allow touchdowns on 36% of red zone drives. And the Panthers have kind of been inconsistent when it comes down to red zone. In the Chargers, we settled for a bunch of field goals.
Sure did.
Arizona, they were clicking on all cylinders. Atlanta, kind of mixture of both. We had to settle some drives we were able to finish. So being able to execute in that red zone and put 7 on the board instead of 3, I think is another big step. And I think in Teddy's interview, he made a good point that a red zone stuff by the defense is basically a 4-point play because you're holding the offense to 3 points instead of 7. So, I mean, those extra 4 points can go a long way in a dogfight like this that I'm going to expect this game to be. And I think plus what you want with this Nick Foles and this Bears offense, if you can get a lead and finish in the red zone and get ahead of them, you kind of knock them off their game plan. And now you're forcing Foles to have to throw the ball more. They become more predictable. And that's when you can get your pass rush and mix up your coverages, confuse them, and kind of knock them off a bit. You don't want Foles. I mean, Foles is a good, solid pro quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from him, but when you're forcing him to come out of his comfort zone, make him throw the ball 40, 45 times, take that run game away from him, make him predictable like that, I think that's when you can start to rattle him and you kind of see him, force him into some mistakes. So I think that's going to be key. I think it's just got to be good complementary football to get this home win and go to 4-2.
Yeah, and another thing I was thinking about this game, looking into it, fellas, if y'all remember 2018 season, which also was a home game around the middle point of the season. We had a very strong defensive Baltimore Ravens team that came to town, and we ended up giving them that smoke. Again, I think that the potential is there that if we click, that we could have similar success both offensively and defensively. Just to take advantage of it. With the as I was looking over these stats and numbers here, I really see that the Bears really do struggle offensively on third down, and I think that's something that as with the less than stellar run game and struggling on third down, I think that if we're able to put them in, we're able to win defensively on first and second down, I think that's really going to really put us in a favorable situation. Another guy to worry about, and both of you fellas might remember him, is it Tyreek Cohen? I think he's from, he went to A&T, if I'm not mistaken.
He's on IR, actually.
Oh, he's on IR? Oh, okay.
Wow.
So I didn't even know that.
Cool.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I just think there's, definitely opportunities for this to be a really good game for us in spite of the heavy defensive stature of the Bears. Because if I'm not mistaken, their only loss came to the Colts, who right now has the number 1 defense across the board in literally all categories.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken. But I just think that the opportunities is definitely there. This is a team that should be respected, but not to be feared by fans. This is a winnable game. I think that this team is growing. The Carolina Panthers team is growing confidence, and confidence along with execution with talent. That starts to breed. That starts to spread around, and we can come into this game healthy. See what's going on with Brian Burns and things, because it was confusion on if he had a concussion or not. So it'll be interesting tomorrow on Wednesday when the injury report come out. What's the status, so we can all keep track of that as well.
Yeah, man. We're gonna need that, especially if we make Foles one-dimensional. That's gonna be critical. Can we run the football on these guys? What do you think, Will?
Yeah, I think there'll be opportunities to run the ball against them. I mean, teams have been able to get yards against this team. I just think they do a very good job of buckling down in the red zone and holding you to 3 points instead of 7. So I think the key here, I think we'll be able to move the ball. I mean, I'll take our offense and our weapons against anybody. I mean, I just think we present a lot of matchup problems with Robbie, Curtis, and DJ. We haven't even started to see what the tight ends can do and contribute as well. I mean, Mike Davis is playing out of this world. I think Teddy's making good decisions with the football. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's efficient or consistently, between 20 to 20, we're moving the ball really well. I just think we just have to be a more consistent red zone scoring team. I think that when you get down to that part of the field, everybody just got to be better. The line's got to be more dominant and nasty because you don't have the full field to work with. I mean, wide receivers may have to make some contested catches. Quarterbacks got to throw the ball in the tighter windows if need be. And I just think the play calling can be a little bit more creative as well. But I think it'll come down to that, just how efficient can we be with our red zone possessions. I think we'll definitely have no problem getting there. It's just how are we going to finish once we do get in that area of the field.
So Chicago's a band, but don't break.
I'm sorry, he's talking about kick a lot of field goals here. I got that stat as well. Their opponents have made 15 out of 18 field goals, while they've only converted 7 out of 9. So, they really do tighten up and force teams to kick a lot of field goals here. So, execution has got to be on point. But what I noticed about our red zones opportunities, we do well when we block well. I don't think it's necessarily so much an X to O point of view as far as what our wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs do. I just think that if we can, win our matchup in the trenches, I think that will allow us to take advantage to be more efficient with our red zone opportunities.
Here. Man, efficiency is what's going to win the game, folks. Efficiency is going to win the game for us. Man, what's your predictions, fellas? What you think? We get a W here. Go 4-2.
Yeah, I think we ultimately can pull out this win here. I think, especially playing at home. I mean, this team, we're on a roll right now. They're playing extremely well. I think Mike Davis, who's already runs pissed off, going against his former team who just cut him.
Right.
And we acquired him from him, so he's going to be motivated coming out there this week. Teddy played the Bears last year in New Orleans and had one of his better games of the year.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm confident going into this week. I haven't been able to say that a lot this year just because of the unknowns with the roster turnover, new staff, new quarterback, and all of that. But I think this is probably the first time I can go into the game and I say that I'm confident that we can play well, get a W, and get one step closer. I mean, this is playoff football here, man. The Bears at 4-1. We're going to be competing with these guys down the stretch for that wild card spot. It may be a team that we see twice this year. So I just think this is a big game, good measuring stick to see where we stand in the mix of this competitive NFC.
Facts. What you think, Kev? What's your prediction, man?
Well, what I'm thinking is I think that it'll be a competitive first half, and I can see us, I've noticed that we're making good adjustments, not only between the games, but potentially after the half. I noticed that we'll switch up styles on them after come out of halftime, and I just think that with a team that's so aggressive, that we're going to be able to catch them a lot and to really expose them. But I can see it being definitely gritty at first because they want to keep pace with the division leader Green Bay Packers, who are still undefeated. I know they're on a bye week, but so they definitely are looking. They definitely have a lot to play for to want to keep pace, so they can be relevant in their own division. But as far as the Panthers here, I see this as a game where we at home where we really just continue building momentum. I see this as a Panthers win. I know that'll make my daughter happy because she's a Packers fan, so we can do anything to bring them Bears down. She'll be happy. So if you ask me for a prediction, I'm gonna say Carolina 31, Chicago. I'm gonna give them 14. I think our defense will make a statement.
Wow.
So yeah, give me down for 31-14 Carolina.
31 points on the Bears. Yeah. Keep it rolling, man. Hey, you never know. Like Will mentioned, man, we have a lot of weapons. This is probably the most diverse offense in terms of weaponry that the Bears have run up against this season. We're extremely unpredictable in that sense, and that advantage puts us in a situation where they're going to be hard to read. I like that. Honestly, I'm gonna be a little more conservative because I think that Bears defense is, and the red zone area is going to be an issue unless we can get some chunk plays and score from more than 20 yards out. I'm gonna say 24-18 Panthers. Say 24-18. The injury bug is what I'm worried about too. But I don't see why, as long as Teddy can toss that rock, man, and our receivers are getting fed. I think we can pull it out because they can't play play our passing game and stop our run both. It's just too much to handle in my opinion. Just saying. So yeah, Panther fans. Go ahead, bro.
That's a good point, though. All 5 Bears games this year have been one score or less. The largest margin was a 19-11 loss to the Colts. So I expect a dogfight. I mean, they beat the Lions by 4, the Giants by 4, the Falcons by 4. 4 seemed to be the magic number. Then they just beat Tampa Bay by a point. So I wouldn't surprise to see a dogfight. Maybe it comes down to a game-winning field goal or something like that. So it should be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to this one.
Mm-hmm. Damn, is it Sunday yet? All right, fellas. Any parting shots for the fans?
Yeah, well, what I say is, as always, thank all the fans that follow the 4-Man Rush on all of our social media accounts. Again, we would never take you guys for granted, so just want to say thank you. Also, definitely make sure you continue to check us out every Sunday, a couple hours after the game for the post-game live. And we're going to be going into episode number 2 of the 4-Man Rush, all 22 film breakdown on Wednesday of the previous game. And I think we're going to work a little something new this weekend as well, Tim. I mentioned this to Will. We're going to look at doing a Friday version of the All 22, previewing the upcoming matchup. While we have access to it, why not? Why not take advantage of it? Give our fans, a breakdown of what happened, and then we can take a look at, upcoming opponent, what they've done well with, what they struggled against, and see how the Panthers offense can take advantage of it. So, look like we're gonna try to debut this probably around. We haven't set official time yet, but we're definitely posting the group. So, we're gonna do a Friday night, all 22 of the upcoming games. We're gonna see if we can get that started as well.
Word. All right, bringing that content to you folks. Dig it. Hey, when you got content like that, folks, you gotta keep bringing it to you because you guys keep asking for it. So here you go. Gonna break that thing down, man. Dig it. Like peanut brittle, gonna break it. Break it down. All right, folks. Thanks again for checking out the 4-Man Rush podcast. Whether you're looking at this on YouTube or listening to us on YouTube or Podbean or any of the wonderful podcast platforms, thank you very much. I hope you guys are staying safe, wearing a mask, washing your hands 6 feet apart, stop playing games. This thing's gonna be here for a while. Are you going to the game, Kev?
No, I won't be at this game. Since I got my daughter in town, we're actually gonna head on down 85 and check the smoldering remains that's in Atlanta. So maybe we'll pass the moving trucks for Dan Quinn and the general manager. Since we gave them the boot. Tim, this is the 3rd time that Atlanta Falcons coaches got fired after playing the Panthers.
Damn.
Their last 3 coaches got fired after playing the Panthers. It's crazy. Mike Smith got fired after playing us in 2014, and Jim Mora Jr. got fired after playing us before that. So yeah. So sip on that tea.
Well,
and Matt Rule, the Grim Reaper. We got Chris Kingsbury fired at Texas Tech. Now Dan Quinn in Atlanta.
Hey,
keep that train going.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going.
Yeah, and also another little fact about Matt Rule. With Matt Rule being at 3-2, it only took him 5 games under previous coach Rivera. It took him 47 games to get above 500.
Good Lord of mercy, that's a lot of games.
That was actually corrected. Still along was 39. I think they corrected that. I saw that was still.
They corrected it. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that tweet too. And then somebody, I think Panthers stat guy, came in and said it was 39.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, but let the Rule restoration continue.
Does he think about his record at Temple and Baylor? In his first year at Temple, he won 2 games. First year at Baylor, he won 1 game. Already got 3 in his first year with the Panthers. So
that's right.
He was right when he did that interview to his players on the first meeting. He said, it took us so long to win at Temple and Baylor. He said, here, I don't want it to take that long. I want to try to win now. So far, he's living up to that.
Yep. I love that about him. He takes each and every situation for what it is and not try to impose what he wants. Right? He's all about teaching. He's all about guidance. He's all about motivation, and it channels to the field. I mean, every week you see these, especially the young players. Every week these guys get better, and that's what great coaches do. So.
Yeah, you can just really see that the team is just really buying into what him and the coaching staff is doing. There was a lot of questions about, how would a college coach do with professional players and blah, blah, blah. This, that Big 12 stuff's not going to work in the NFL and this, that, and the third. Yet we sitting at 3-2. So, goes to show that, don't judge a book by its cover, folks. Actually enjoy reading the chapters one at a time, and you'll be surprised what kind of stories you read.
Right on. Yeah, man. Words of wisdom right there on the way out. I like that. All right, so folks, thank you. Be sure to check out the All 22 tomorrow, and of course the post podcast of Kev. You still doing that on Facebook, Kev?
Yeah, still doing it on Facebook. Starting at 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, even though this comes out every Wednesday, but make sure that you go to the 4-Man Rush Facebook page. We do a live Q&A session, basically where I break down, what we discuss here in the podcast, the previous game, the upcoming game, give our fans a chance to interact with us and to pick our brains about what we see and what we're going to be doing forward with this group.
I know, man. I know. So, folks, be sure to check out our Facebook page for that. That's every Tuesday evening. All 22 on Wednesday. The new All 22 potentially coming up with the opponent breakdown. And of course that post game, man. That post game lit, boy. We getting good feedback on that, man. I'm digging that. That raw emotions are real. I love it. So yeah. Appreciate you guys. So whether you listen to this podcast in the morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you so much. Real talk, thank you so much. Be sure to check out our website with our blog writers. They're coming up with some golden write-ups, man. Norris and Vince and Jadarius and everybody. It's just wonderful write-ups, man. Good articles. And Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. The Twitterverse is killing it. Man, we all over the place, man. This is just 4-Man. Just type in 4-Man Rush and just go find it.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere, man. It's like a mall. We got all that shit. Right up the escalator, you'll find it all right there. There you go. But hey, appreciate you guys and gals, man. Really, we really do, man. It's a great season. It's a new team, new outlook, new ownership, new coaches. Who knows what's going to happen, man? Sky's the limit. 1 week at a time, and we'll see what happens. But one thing's for sure, the 4-man rush is going to be here for you. Just show you what's up. Y'all dig it. Take care, Panther fans. And as always, keep pounding. Y'all be good. And that's a clip. Dig it, man.
Hey, it's hard enough trying to figure out what the hell the Panthers are doing, trying to scout another team. Imagine how to do that. You only watch it once.
That's gonna be fun, man. You're gonna have to pick out like a particular player or particular plays. Like maybe like I don't know, like three offense, 3 defense.
Yeah.
If you get really detailed in it, man, I mean, that's a lot to.
I've already seen the Bucs game Thursday. I watched that. And I got a general idea of what they want to do. But they're like us, man. They're tough. They want to out-tough you. Old school game.
No punch him in the mouth type of shit.
They want to win 12-6.
I'm just taking time to really let it breathe. So baby, just chill. Yeah. She love it. We out in public and we can just chill with my partners, and we can go back to my crib and just chill under covers and do we call me and you lovers.
The 4-Man Rush is brought to you by the love and respect of and for the Carolina Panthers and Carolina Panther fans everywhere. Keep pounding. The 4-Man Rush is a non-affiliate of the Carolina Panther organization. All thoughts, assessments, and content of this podcast is directly related to the 4-Man Rush exclusively. Thank you.